Hello my friends, this is umonox. In my last video with the TR-8s and the Digitakt, I quickly gave you an overview of a couple of the feature differences, and some of you ask what about the sound differences and everything, and I want to take the opportunity and use this video to quickly show you a couple of differences in the sound between these two machines, and we will focus on regular sample playback, on the master compressor, on the filters, as well as reverb and a little bit of delay. So I think we should get started. For this purpose, I'm using the same samples on both machines, and on the Digitakt, let's quickly create a project, a new one first. On the Digitakt, I will quickly show you these samples that we are using. Now, I have a folder which is called SOT Custom Kit, and these samples is what we are using. Okay, so before we get started with the sound selection, with the sound differences or the playback actually, let's quickly show you how fast loading times on the Digitakt are and how slow loading these samples on the TR-8s is. Because I think this is something you should see. I have all these 11 samples selected on the Digitakt now, and I load them to the project. And here we go. It's done. And now I have these samples on the SD card for on the TR-8s SD card. So first I want to show you sample right here. All this is called P, so there are no custom samples inside the TR-8s just yet. So I go to the import on the utility for the samples, and I select the source folder, and this is SOT Custom Kit, and I hit OK. And now we can see how long it takes on the TR-8s to load these samples to the memory. Okay, now I think from an earlier test I do have some patterns already. No, I've created a new project. So on the Digitakt, let's start by loading these samples in on the various tracks, and I will actually (9, 10, 11, 12). Let's take 13. I think I will skip this real quick, so it's not so annoying for you to watch me assigning samples. Okay, so here we are. Same here. Okay, and we have two stereo samples, this one and this one. And we can already hear the difference, because the TR-8s can play these samples back in stereo, the Digitakt always converts it to mono. Okay, so let's do a quick sequence. I think on, yeah, let's start with the kick. Where is it? Track number 6, I think this is this one here. Let's see. Also 120 BPM on both machines, so we have the same on both of them. Okay, so without anything, this is how the regular playback of these samples sounds on both machines. First the Digitakt. And now comes the TR-8s. Overall, it sounds pretty much the same for me, but with the difference that the TR-8s is playing these two samples back in stereo, while Digitakt is playing them back in mono only. Okay, now the first thing I want to have a look at is how do these master compressors sound on both machines. And for that, we start on the Digitakt. First, I think we have to make these chords a little bit quieter. So let's have a listen. Okay, here we go. Well, let's start on the Digitakt. We have our compressor with our default settings, 24, 33, 32 for the release, 24 for the attack, 32 for the threshold, ratio of 4, no side chaining, and a makeup gain of 12. So let's have a listen how this compressor setting, the default setting, sounds on the Digitakt. Let's turn it in. Okay, let's now go to our kit and select our Master FX as type and select the compressor here, because we have different things up here, and what we need is our compressor. And let's check that out. So let's see, attack, release, threshold, makeup gain, and the ratio. They are different. I will quickly, these are the default settings, so let's have a listen how this one sounds with the TR-8s by default. For me, it sounds like if it's just getting louder, not a real difference in the sound. So let's tweak on that Master FX and see how the compressor turns out on the TR-8s. A little bit more release. But now let's turn the threshold down. So that it's actually compressing. Ooh, that's loud. Strange. Also try out a hard knee. Sounds somewhat messy, I think. I don't really think that the TR-8s compressor is very good. Let's compare this to the Digitakt again. Heavy compression sounds like this on the Digitakt and not so great on the TR-8s, I think. So let's still have another listen to it. Pretty low threshold. Bring the attack up. Also against this. Yeah, I must admit I had a hard time with the compressor on the TR-8s, but probably if you dig in deeper and take more time on this, it could sound relatively okay as well. But I have the feeling that on the Digitakt the compressor just is just a little bit more, I don't know, musical or something. I can't describe it. But this is probably also because I'm much more used to the Digitakt than I'm used to the TR-8s. But anyway, let's turn the master FX off. Let's turn the reverb off here as well, the compressor off here as well. So we have our basic sounds again. With actually nothing on this one. Let's actually, yeah, doesn't really matter what we use here. Okay, next up, I think we should have a look and listen to the filters. And I will start by using this sound. I think we should use this sound, generally use this sound. So let's actually mute everything except for that sound, and let's focus on this one, and let's change the pattern a little. So we have something like this. It's a bit quieter here, but let's make it louder. Yeah, something like that. Okay, now first on the Digitakt, let's have a listen to the filter, how it sounds without anything. Pretty basic actually, and on the TR-8s we make our life a little bit easier by just selecting the frequency of the filter, the cutoff, right here, so we can dial it on this control knob. Let's have a listen. Okay, so far so good. Still sounds pretty similar. Except for that on the Digitakt it gets away a little bit more when we go to a lower frequency, while it retains a little bit on that TR-8s, but this can be because of the filter type. We have different filter types on the TR-8s as additional instrument insert effects. So okay, without hesitation, let's dial in further. Let's bring some resonance in. First I go to the instrument, and I'm on filter resonance already, so let's bring in some resonance and see how that sounds. Quite painful actually, but let's do the same on the Digitakt. It's also yeah, a little bit painful, but it's not so extreme like it is here. Still. Sounds kinda distorted. But anyway, this is with resonance turned up a little bit. And yeah, I think the next thing we should look at is how our filter envelopes work. Now I have a filter decay 32, and let's bring that filter envelope in, all the way in, and let's have a listen. And we can obviously do the same here. Let's bring the filter envelope in here as well and bring the resonance down. Let's see. Shorter decay. And the same actually here as well. Against. Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty similar. The actual sound comes through a lot faster here against yeah. So these are the filter envelopes. Let's quickly reset all of this again. Because now I want to have a look at the additional filters the TR-8s has on offer. This is something we do not have on the Digitakt, because the Digitakt has a low pass and a high pass filter, as you can see. High pass, low pass. And inside the instrument setting itself, we can also choose between a low pass and a high pass. And that's okay, but we do have additional insert effects on the TR-8s as well, and inside we also have another type of low pass high pass filter and a combination of both, but let's focus on the low pass. And this one is cool because this has different types. It has 12 dB, minus 12 dB, minus 18 and minus 24. And let's have a listen how these filters sound. Let's turn the resonance, and let's actually keep a little bit of a resonance inside so we can clearly hear this more clearly. And let's bring this all the way up and let's have a listen. Actually, let's back up a little on that resonance. So that's minus 12 dB. Let's check out minus 18 dB. Let's see. Still, you can hear there's still some sound inside. When I'm dialing it with, while I keep shift pressed, we have some stepping going on, but this has to do with these value entering here, because I had the same stepping with the regular filter from the instrument itself as I've dialed it here, but once I've assigned it to the control knob, that stepping was gone. So this has to do with this thing. And let's finally try to have a listen to the 24 dB. Let's set a frequency right here and switch between them so we hear it more clearly. So as expected, the farther down we go, the steeper our curve gets. So this is an additional way of using it and using this filter. And let's see, instrument of X, we can select that one here. Let's see what we are actually controlling now. Yeah, we can also control the depth of that. Of this filter. Okay, so that's about the filters for now. Let's have a listen to the reverb now. And for this, first let's bring the frequency up here. But I think let's do something like this and bring a little bit. Because with a much shorter decay, I think we can hear the reverb a little bit better. So let's first bring that filter back. Yeah, I've just removed the insert filter now because I want to use the filter that is inside. Turn up its envelope just towards the middle somehow. And here's our filter cutoff. Let's select that filter cutoff right here so we can do. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit different. The behavior of the filters is a little bit different on both machines, but we take it like this. Okay, so let's bring that reverb in. I first select that. Oops, let's go to instrument play. I press this, keep this pressed, and dial on this knob so I can bring the reverb from the TR-8s in. Someone has told me that this is working in my last video. Again, thanks for that tip. This is really useful. And now let's actually bring the reverb as well in as well, and let's have a listen to the basic reverb settings on the TR-8s first. I would like to have something like this. Okay, so that's basic reverb. We go to the kit and go to our reverb settings. We can see this is the type Hall one. And first, let's bring the time from the reverb up quite high, so we can hear the reverb tail a bit better. And let's also remove all the filters on that reverb and keep the density on 10 for now. So we have kind of like the largest possible reverb for that demo. And let's actually do the same here on the Digitakt. I'm turning it all the way up, and I'm also turning it descent all the way up here. And same thing here on the Digitakt. Let's quickly remove these and make a relatively flat reverb, and let's have a listen. Okay, that's quite a lot. Let's back up a little. I think we have to set this. Let's actually bring up the time right here and let's see. And let's check that out on the Digitakt now. So you see, we do not even have the reverb all the way up, because we can go up to infinity, but this will definitely leave us with a wall of reverb. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's just back it up a little. And yeah, but let's have a listen to the different reverb types that we have on the TR-8s, because we don't have these on the Digitakt. We have them on the TR-8s, however. So let's have a listen to these, and I will switch to Hall 2 for now, and let's have a listen how this one sounds. Okay, now let's check out our plate, and let's listen to this one. That's not bad. Quite a long tail in this one as well, and we also have a mod reverb. Let's have a listen to this one. Seems to have some kind of chorus effect or something similar. We also have an ambient reverb. Let's have a listen to this one. Oh, this one is great for these kind of, I don't know, you know, some sort of oil tank or something. And this is where the density also comes in quite nice, because now we can hear all these different delays. Yeah, and there's also a room reverb inside, but this one is actually just a smaller kind of reverb. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to go too deep into all of this. Just quickly have a listen back to the Digitakt. Yeah, when it comes to the reverb, the TR-8s is definitely a bit more flexible than the Digitakt, and I also don't really think that the reverb on the TR-8s is much worse than the reverb on the Digitakt, because it really depends on the the engine that you choose, and I think it sounds quite good. I must admit, I don't think that this is really kind of a good reverb. I really have to say that, and yeah. But anyway, let's turn it down again and let's finally have a listen to these reverbs. First, let's bring the send out for the track and let's have a listen to these reverbs, these delays, I mean. And here we have three types: delay, pan, tape echo. Delay and pan are relatively the same, because this one is a mono delay and this one is stereo panning. And it's basically the same on the Digitakt as well. So let's have a listen to the Digitakt's delay at its default setting. And let's have a listen to the default setting of the delay from the TR-8s. Oops. It's because we do not have enough feedback. But we have a time parameter up here. Yeah, that's because this thing is not synchronized. We have the option to actually synchronize these. So let's have a look at this. We go into our kit setting, and there's a tempo sync parameter. We can turn that on, and once we turn that on, this gets some time divisions we can set. So let's have a listen. Let's have a listen to the delay from first. Let's send a little bit more of that thing, just like this. So pretty similar to what we have here. Also on the Digitakt we can do the same thing with these That's a bit of a drawback. because the delay from the Digitakt doesn't have any kind of tempo sync. But anyway, let's go in and let's see what else we have. We have these time divisions feedback. We also have high cut and high damp. This is the same on Digitakt. We have these high pass and low pass filters as well. And we can select the frequencies, and that's just basically what we have. But there is no stereo spread parameter available in that delay. It's a regular standard delay, so just mono. On the Digitakt we can do this by just turning that one up, and now we get a ping pong delay, which is stereo spread reverb delay. And we can do this on the TR-8s as well by choosing that pan one. Yeah, and for the pan one, you can see we have a tap time parameter, an additional one. Let's check that one out. Let's see. We can actually differ how it is panning left and right. We can influence this a little with this one, but we cannot select the stereo width of the delay, so it's always fully left and right once we select this pan delay. And finally, let's check out the tape echo, which is a little bit different to the one that we have, because we have different panning types. And yeah, this thing is quite complex, this delay, and I actually don't want to go too deep into it because I must admit that I haven't read the manual about it. I just want to quickly have a look and listen to how it sounds. As you can hear, it's really messy. But we can make it stereo as well. Tape distortion and everything. Actually, messing around with this one is quite nice because it sounds really good. It's really great. Sounds worn and everything. Really, I like it. Different modes to play with. I really would have to have a look into the manual what all of these do, but I must admit I quite like this tape delay on the TR-8s, and the Digitakt sadly doesn't have this. It has a regular stereo ping pong delay, which just gets the job done, but on the TR-8s we really have kind of a nice delay in addition to that, so we could use that delay for sound shaping purposes as well. With shorter settings, maybe we can also use this as kind of a I think it's even cooler when we deactivate the tempo sync. Ooh yeah. Yeah, that's actually quite nice, I must admit. This is something I would definitely love to have on the Digitakt. But anyway, yeah, so this is about it, I think, for now, because I could go on forever, but I definitely hope that this has given you a little bit of an overview of the sound between these two machines and how different they actually are. And I must admit, all in all, they are not too different at all, at least not for my ears. But I think it's up to you to judge on your own. Yeah, so that's about it. And I hope you liked this video. And I hope it also helped you out a little. And I would say, wish you all the best, my friends. And I see you in my next video. Bye.